This is episode 28 of the A Free Spirit Life podcast.
I said up is where I wanna go. To be free, to feel free, to be me.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode 28. We are going to be talking today about courage. In particular, how to cultivate courage and what it means to be brave. So the reason I am doing this show today is a lot of women that I have been coaching lately or having conversations with, and even things I've been facing in my own life, this message of being brave keeps coming up. I see it everywhere. I see pictures of it in social media, be brave. And I've heard people going through brave challenges. And I did something really brave over the weekend I'm going to tell you about. But it got me thinking, I think sometimes we don't quite understand what it means to be brave. I actually think it's kind of misleading because it seems like we forget that to be brave, to do something courageous, means we have to walk forward and connect with our fear. It does not mean to be fearless, that there is no fear involved. And in talking with women about being brave, it reminds me that so often we think we are weak when we're scared. We aren't courageous in the face of fear. We could never possibly be brave because we're not fearless. And so today's show is about how to embrace the fear that you feel, how to walk forward through the fear, and how to cultivate courage. So what does that mean? To cultivate, I actually looked up the definition of cultivate, and it says to prepare and use, to foster growth and to improve by care or study. I love that. Because if you think about courage needing to be cultivated, you have to practice it. You have to study it. You have to tend and care to it. You can't just assume that some big scary thing happens in your life and you're going to just go forward without any fear and move through it. Cultivating courage means taking little steps each day, facing and moving through your fears. And so let me give you a real life example. Last week, I got invited to go to a fire walking ceremony. Now, I'm not sure if you know what that is, but let me just tell you because I literally had to Google what is fire walking. And I kind of had an idea, but I really wanted to make sure that I knew exactly what my mind was thinking. And when I got invited, the first instinct was, yeah, I'm definitely going to this. And I immediately said yes. And surprisingly to myself, I didn't have a lot of fear about it. It's never been something I've thought about really. It hasn't been on my list of things to accomplish. But I knew when I got invited, I had to say yes. And so I went to this fire walking ceremony, and I only got a little nervous right before I got there. As I was driving to it, I realized I don't know a single person at this event. And that was almost even feeling a little more scary than actually walking through fire. Because if any of you, are introverts or you have a little social anxiety sometimes, like it feels better when you're going with a buddy, right? And when I pulled up, I noticed a lot of people kind of walking in with their buddy. And I'm like, oh, I don't have a buddy with me. But I breathed through it. I went to it. I also knew from the emails and the people who invited me, although I didn't know them necessarily in person, they already made me feel safe. They were really encouraging in their emails, and they even said like, hey, if you don't want to walk, just remember that just showing up and observing other people walking is courageous. So I thought, hey, I could do this, And although I showed up with the intention that I was going to walk, I didn't know what to expect. So I just went with an open heart, with an open mind, and doing some deep breathing. And I went. Signed my life away on the release form. And we went to the backyard where this was beautiful, surrounded by woods. We did a lighting ceremony to start the fire. There were about 15 people there. And there were some things that led up. So it was about a 3-hour event that led us up to building the energy to walk through the fire. So we did some letting go of fears exercises. We kind of honored the elements. We determined what we want to walk towards. What is this thing that we want more of in our lives? So when it came time to walk through the fire, I had already done some scary things to get to that point. And my word, what I wanted to walk towards was abundance. I felt this deep desire to walk forward towards abundance. And so I prepared, I got ready. If you want to share or if you want to know more about the details, real specific details of my internal processing, I'm talking about that more in the Live Freely Circle. So you can always join that. That's my monthly membership. But to share today with you, what I want you to hear is that I walked through the fear. The fear was not absence. I had to breathe. I had to close my eyes. I had to connect. I had to even feel the support from the people around me. I had to make intentional choices about what I wanted to do in that moment. And I walked through the fire. And when I got to the other side, I instinctively just opened my heart. My arms reached out and I felt like I was walking forward, like blazing this trail towards abundance. I felt different. I felt empowered. I felt amazing. And all of a sudden, the people, those 15 people that I knew I didn't know anything about, embraced me, high-fived me, screamed and cheered for me. And we did that for each other. And that was almost more powerful for me than even walking through the fire, was this loving embrace from strangers. So I'm sharing this with you as an example because sometimes we have minor fears we want to go through, like signing up for a class that makes us feel scared, going to a fire walk that where no one. I wouldn't consider it necessarily a minor, but there's just smaller fears, and then there's bigger, like life-challenging fears, like a health scare, or speaking up to someone who's in our space, or whatever it is, going through a financial crisis. Not ignoring it, not hiding from it, not running away from it, but actually scooping up that fear, that energy, and using it to walk forward. Now, sometimes we can do it solo. Sometimes we just need to prepare. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's making some, intentional choices. Sometimes we need to ask for help. Sometimes the fear is too scary and we need to reach for others. And knowing that about yourself in the moment instead of hiding is going to help you cultivate the courage that you need to walk through the fear. And when you get to the other side, wow, amazing, isn't it? Think about fears in your own life that you have faced. Think about a time when you had to cultivate courage. Think about a time when you felt really brave. It was on the other side, wasn't it? When you're like, oh my gosh, I made it. I made it through this really scary thing. So today, as you think about your own life, are you living a life that you think you should live? Are you staying too comfortable and not taking healthy risks? Do you have some fears that you need to face, but you're hiding? You're not ready. You're scared. You're thinking that being scared is weak. How can you think about your fear differently today? That is my invitation to you. The symbolism of the fire walk for me was literally preparing and then walking towards my fear. But I wasn't highlighting the fear. I wasn't staring at the fire. I wasn't staring at the hot coals. I wasn't thinking about my feet burning. I wasn't highlighting what the obstacle was before me. I was focusing on my intention, what I wanted. I was focusing on the abundance. I was focusing on my ability to be courageous. I was focusing on the energy and the vibe of the people around me and the vibe within me. And I used that, tapping into that energy to say, I can do this. I can do this. And that's what I want for you as you listen to this show today, is to feel inspired as you look at your life and think, maybe I haven't done something scary in a while. Maybe this thing that I'm avoiding, I'm ready to face. Maybe I'm ready to walk through it. Could I focus on abundance or whatever it is that you're wanting more of in your life? Can you see how walking through your fear can help you attain it? So, as you move forward today, remember, you are brave. You have done brave things. You are not absent of fear, and you never will be. We as human beings in this world will be continually faced with new obstacles, with new challenges, with new fears. And it is up to you on how you decide to use that fear energy or to allow it to paralyze you. Are you ready to walk through the fire? And when I say that, I know you know, I am not suggesting that you create your own fire walk right now, right? These people were trained to do this, so do not do a fire walk on your own. Definitely, if you are intrigued by this, I can share a link in the show notes. For those living locally in Kansas City, if you'd like to do the fire walk, I highly recommend it. I know you can find one in your area, but do not do this on your own. What I am suggesting is, what scary thing are you ready to walk through? You can do this. Maybe you need to ask for help. Maybe you need a little bit more self-care. Maybe you need a little more sleep. Maybe you need just a little more mental and emotional rest. But when you're ready, which I think could be today, walk towards the fear. You are courageous. You are brave. You can do this. And I want to hear from you. Email me, Shannon@afreespiritlife.com. Let me know of a time that you didn't feel brave, but then when you got the energy to walk through that fear, you felt amazing. Let me know of something, an obstacle that you're facing right now, that you're feeling too afraid to move through. Let me know what's going on in your life. How will you cultivate a little courage today? I want to hear from you. You can join me on my free Facebook group. It's a Free Spirit Life community. Or if you are interested in diving deeper into these kind of topics, you can always become a member of my Live Freely Circle. For those details, go to livefreelycircle.com. It's a monthly membership. You can sign up. You can cancel anytime. This is an opportunity for you to get group coaching. I do live weekly videos. We have themes, guided meditations, journal prompts, tools to support you on your soul care, on your self-awareness and self-awakening so that you can be brave every day. All right. My friends, thank you so much for joining me, for allowing me to test this new way of doing a podcast. I was videotaping this podcast episode, so if you'd like to watch me while you're listening, you can go to my new YouTube channel, A Free Spirit Life. All the links are in the show notes. If you like this show, go to iTunes or Stitcher, leave me a review, rate the show, share it with your friends, help me grow our community, and I will see you next week.
Open your